We call her the Mother of God. What does that mean to us as Orthodox Christians? And is she our mother? Pour a cup and connect with us today as we talk about Mary, the Holy Theotokos. This is Mugs and Mercy.
Pinky up.
Cheers. Before we get into today's video, click the like and subscribe button. It helps us a lot and it helps us reach more people. And share. And comment down below. Commenting also helps us. Today we are talking about the Holy Theotokos, what she means to us as on a very personal level and what she means to the church as a whole. In our old church, we used to always have a tea party around the Annunciation, and we would call it the Annunciation Tea. So we thought we would do a very feminine, girly tea party today. So Christine, what's in your teacup?
Oh, in my teacup is a vanilla rooibos tea. Cheers.
Yeah, I'll cheers with you. I think that's what I have too.
Katie, what's in your teacup?
Rooibos, I'm probably saying it wrong. With a little honey. Thank you for brewing it, Christine.
My pleasure.
Oh, wait, pinky up.
Pinky up, ladies.
Lest we forget.
Don't worry, we won't be British the whole time.
Yeah, don't worry.
I do have, it's a little fun.
We have to just give it a
Emily.
Oh, yes. In my white teacup is Rubio's tea as well. So basically,
and I have to say, I've used this teacup before that Emily's using with the rose on it, and it is Ellie's teacup, my daughter.
Oh,
and so
thank you, Ellie, my
for lending
goddaughter.
us.
And thank you, Christine, for bringing all the
Yes,
little
I was going to say
tea
Christine.
accoutrement.
Yes.
Yes, oui. Christine brought all the tea sets and the adorable tea
Yes.
yes.
Linens,
linens,
which are from my mother-in-law, Bonnie.
and these little tea books. So everything here. I was like, Christine, we should do a tea party, and she's like, say less.
And the pink
Just
set.
throws it together. Yes, it's so cute.
And the pink set is from Mama Bacon.
Oh, I need some of this.
That's so cute.
Yes.
My
So-
napkin here.
For the saint today, we thought, what better way than to have the subject of this whole video? So what we're going to do is we want to talk just a little bit of an overview about Mary's life as a person on this earth before we get into like what she means to us. So Katie, do you want to give us a rundown of her life?
We obviously have some information about the Holy Theotokos from the Gospels, but there's also church tradition that tells us that her parents were Saints Joachim and Anna, so the grandparents of Christ.
Right.
And like many stories we hear in the Bible, in the Gospels and the Bible, they were not able to conceive a child for much of their marriage. So they were into their old age and they prayed and prayed that God would bless them with a child. And he indeed blessed them with the Theotokos. And so she was born, and at only age 3, similar to the prophet Samuel, we learned about from my brother's episode, she was dedicated to the temple. So she actually grew up in the temple. So she was very devoted to God throughout her life and just loved him. And so she was not just any woman who was chosen. She was chosen, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that with some of what the saints had to say about her. But she was chosen for the task of being Christ's mother and being this vital part of the incarnation as the one who would bear the Messiah, Christ. And she is called the Mother of God because it was actually to emphasize Christ's divinity, to say that
He's also man.
yes, he is man, and so she bore him as a human, but that he is fully God and fully man. And so she is actually called the Holy of Holies because the Holy of Holies in the temple was the place where Christ, or where God, including Christ, dwelt, right? And so that's like the amazing mystery of the church, and many of our hymns, especially around the incarnation, the Annunciation, which is what we're celebrating, which is when the angel Gabriel told her that she would bear the Messiah and that he would be called Emmanuel, which means God with us. And she said, "Let it be to me according to your word." So she accepted, she said yes to God. and what he wanted her to do. So all the great mystery of the church is how a human being could contain God in her womb, right? So she became the Holy of Holies because he was inside her to grow and truly be born as a human. And
you were comparing it to, it used to be like the part of the temple that was the Holy of Holies. And it was like, how could he even be in this part of this building? And he was like actually there in her womb.
Yeah, so it's, you know, and it's something that we marvel, right? When we truly think of what this means, like we can't even fathom it. And so as Orthodox Christians, that's one of like the things where we talk about holy mystery, right? We can't in human terms explain it or even truly comprehend it, but yet that was God's plan for humanity. And so that's the gist of her life. She gave birth to Christ. She raised him. She was like an actual person. And you know, there's more there's stuff you can read in the Gospels about what happened and how all the details happened. And we're going to talk more about some of the stories in the wedding in Cana and all of that. But you know, that's our overview of Mary the Theotokos.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. So in every Orthodox church, you will see one or more Holy Theotokos icons on the left side. But often, in a lot of Orthodox churches, you'll see her with Christ in her womb, actually, behind the altar. And I've heard priests say this is because she's like the ultimate saint. She bore Christ. And Katie's going to talk to us a little bit about the placing of the churches. Yeah. But I was going to say, she is, when we're praying in church, we're not praying to her as a God. We're asking for her intercessions, but she is the ultimate goal for our lives, basically. She's the ultimate example. So that's why she's in a lot of times you'll see multiple icons of her, not just in the front. But you'll kiss the icon of the Theotokos before you even walk in the church often. And she's everywhere, and she's very important, but it's because she's our ultimate goal, and she's the mother of the church. Katie's going to talk a little bit about the placement.
Well, so first, with icons, too, with very few exceptions, she always is with Christ. So Christ is in her womb, or she has the Christ child with her and she's pointing to him. And that's the whole purpose, is like everything she's doing is directing us to Christ. And we need to remember that with all of this. But as we were preparing for this episode, I was researching a little bit like, why do a lot of these churches have the icon in the back? And basically they're saying, not all churches have like a dome, but those churches that can afford to have a dome have a dome with Christ, right? So it's like up to heaven, and we're looking up to him, and that's our ultimate goal, right? And then the icon is depicting the incarnation. That's why Christ is contained in her womb in that. And so that was Christ joining humanity, and she was this huge part in that. And then we always see the cross too, and so that's Christ actually dying on the cross to then conquer death and to bring us up to heaven with him, right? So basically, like the whole like gist of the gospel is depicted. So that's, of course, not every single church has the dome and everything, but that's in those that can and do afford it, like we get to see that whole gospel message right there in just those three images.
And can I say, add on a point, is often on the doors that lead to the altar, usually often the icons on the doors is of the Annunciation. And I love the hymn of the Annunciation that says, "Today is the beginning of our salvation." That is where it all starts. That's like what opened the door to the incarnation and our salvation.
I love, like,
I don't have chills or anything.
I know. Well, I love, like, some might say it's symbolism, but it's like it's the symbolism of the church, but it's like we're actually living.
It's embodiment.
It's embodiment of the church, yes. We've talked about how in the church we don't say like, this is the memory of the day that we did this. We're like, today is the Christ resurrection, or today Lazarus rises from the tomb, or today is the Annunciation.
Because we believe we're truly experiencing, like, mystically,
right? And like even within the church, the four walls of the church, we're experiencing it live.
We're entering in.
Yes. Along those lines, I prepared some notes because I know there's people who sometimes have questions of like, could it have just been any woman, any Jewish girl at the time that
I've been told that
Christ
before.
wanted
I've heard
to-
Christians saying that.
So some wonder, and as an Orthodox Christian, I've gotten questions about this before, like, well, why do you honor her, venerate her? Like she was, she might have been a good woman, but she was just a woman, right?
Just a woman.
Yes. And so this is an article, maybe we'll link it, from the Ancient Faith blog called Venerating the Virgin, Orthodox Christian Reflections for Protestants. Just as a response, or if you are a Protestant who's wondering, here's some information. So Orthodox Christians argue that no ordinary woman could give birth to God's Son, and that she was chosen by God because she was a holy young girl whose will was aligned to his will. Certainly she was ordinary in that she was a human being like the rest of us, but her submission to God set her apart for the most important job a human could ever fulfill. And something else that we as Orthodox Christians say is we call her the new Eve. So like where Eve said no to God's word and disobeyed, the Theotokos said yes and obeyed, right? And so there was another quote here that kind of expounds upon that, that I thought was helpful in explaining this.
That's a good word.
So as Eve was seduced by the word of an angel and so fled from God after disobeying his word, Mary in her turn was given the good news by the word of an angel and bore God in obedience to his word. And so that's something where when we talk about, we don't talk about her as a savior. Christ is our savior, but we talk about her being part of our salvation in that she was like the new Eve, and we talk about Christ as the new Adam. And through the work that she, through doing God's will, saying yes to God and giving birth to him in the incarnation, that was part of God's plan to save humanity. And so we don't just say like, oh yeah, like God had to choose a woman, so here you go. It's like she actually took this special place that was needed for the salvation of the world. She was part of
Instrumental.
yes, so part of what allowed for our salvation.
Well, like you said, everything she's doing, we're looking to her as an example, but she's bringing us to him, not to her. She's bringing us to him.
she was the
and
first.
She takes us under her wing. She didn't become this divine deity. She is a person, but she is the mother of Christ. And we ask her to save us, just like we would say to anybody, like, save me, help me. And then in the end, though, it all brings back glory to God. It's God that made that happen, and God gets the glory.
So
He's up.
Pip pip. The story from the gospel that I love that helps me understand the Theotokos and her role as a mother to Christ is the wedding at Cana, which is when Christ does his first miracle of turning water into wine at the beckoning of his mother, because his mother is at the wedding, as is Jesus with his disciples. And Mary realizes that the hosts have run out of wine. And so she is like looking at the people around her and already concerned. She doesn't want them to be embarrassed. She wants to help where she can. And she knows who to turn to. She tells Jesus, they've run out of wine. And Katie, what does he say to her?
Depending on the translation, it's something along the lines of, woman, what has that to do with me and you?
Yeah.
My time has not yet come. But I was listening to Presbyteria Jeannie Constantinu's introduction to the Bible series, and she was talking about translations. So to our American ear, this sounds so disrespectful, like if we say woman like that. But what she was saying is it actually came from a Hebrew phrase at the time that they totally would have known, which almost meant the opposite, more like, hey, we've got each other. It was this dear, term of endearment. And even if it sounds weird to our American ears, it's not really how we should understand what was being said there.
It's kind of funny because it does show that it wasn't really on his mind. Like, why would I worry about that? Like, that wasn't on the forefront of his mind, but she's looking at it like she wants to protect them from embarrassment and just like a real mother and son kind of dynamic might be.
I know, it feels very human to see their interaction. And so then she So obviously, she didn't take that as like, no way, woman. Yeah. She just turns from that conversation to the servants and says, just do whatever he tells you. Okay, just listen to him. And so then he proceeds to order them to fill the urns with water and pour them. And as it's poured, it turns into wine. And then everybody's happy.
That's the first miracle.
Yeah, Christ's first public miracle. So, but what it shows for us is her intercessions, her seeing a need and asking her son to meet the need on behalf of humanity. You know, it's an icon, and he listens to her and says, okay, Mom, you know. I mean, it might not always be that simple, but
yeah,
it's just an icon for
but
us.
he's also obedient to her in a way there, you know,
because he's a good son. And I remember someone saying, like, when you think you know someone and then you meet their mother, then you go, oh, and you see the connection. You know, it's like true. Imagine Jesus's mother, the one who raised him as a man on this earth. You know, she had influence on him, and so she still uses that motherly influence then in the gospel, now in our lives still, to, you know, influence her son on our behalf, in our favor.
A side note of the wedding in Cana, I heard someone talking about how it shows the difference between a godly marriage or a marriage with God and without God. Like before, you're like lacking something, and with Him, it's once He enters like the marriage, it's like endless, you know, wonders basically.
Yeah,
So
and the wine was better than the
ever.
first.
Yeah, and so it was that shows the juxtaposition, but also. I know.
Also, how did I just hold that teacup? I'm like,
some people might grapple with like, why do we pray to Mary? And I think that word specifically trips people up. Even me, you know, just like relearning, like, what does it actually mean to us? Pray can also be another word for ask. You know, you're asking for intercessions. You're coming to somebody.
I pray thee, Emily, pass the sugar.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. That phrase. I pray thee, blah blah blah. But it's like we ask for her help, and not because she is God, but she is the mother of God, and she has influence. And he gave her a special role in our church and even to us as this motherly role. And we have countless prayers and services about her.
Yeah, the prayers say, with your motherly boldness.
Yeah.
Like, who can talk to Christ the way his own mother can talk to him? She has that boldness as a mother.
I mean, he was a human, you know, like you forget that, but he, just like all of us have our parents, you know, he had her as his mother. And so it's really neat to think about that. I just wanted to say, we went to Israel back in 2018. My husband and I saw the site of the Nativity of Christ. We actually went to the Church of the Annunciation. And cool. I wanted to bring it, but I'll try to show a little picture. But we went to the Church of the Annunciation, and I have a little icon of the Annunciation from that church, which is neat. It's beautiful. We went to the site of the Dormition, where her body was taken. We went to where she lived in her later years. So we went to a lot of places where she lived her life and walked on this earth. And it was just so neat seeing that she's this real person with a home and parents, and was a little girl in this place, and was a young lady when, where she was a young lady, and it just made her feel so real as this person. And now as a mother, I'm like, you know, her son, like, especially when you watch your own child suffer or get hurt or anything you're dealing with, she's the perfect person to look to and ask for help. She's been through the ultimate task of being a mother, you know, having to watch.
Even the grief of she was one of the ones who was faithful in actually witnessing his death on the cross and was with him the whole time. So she's been through that ultimate grief, even knowing there's the ultimate beauty on the other side waiting. But even if we know that anything we're going through, we know we can look to her, and she's been through that. My husband, who composes, as we've talked about before on the show, some of his favorite hymns that he's done are hymns to the Theotokos, such as Awed by the Beauty, which is one of the ones for the Annunciation, and The Angel Cried, and It Is Truly Meet. And that's something he's talked about, is like, she is just this lover of beauty. And so he has used intercessory prayers, we talked about, not worship prayer, but intercessory prayer, like as he's composing and asking for her help in creating these hymns that I believe are so beautiful. I love to just listen to them and get that peace. And that's something, but that was the main thing. I asked him about that because I know he's talked about that before, like having this special relationship with her in general, but like specifically when he's composing. And that's something he said is like that love that she has of beauty. Like she wants the music to be beautiful, so she's like supporting him and making it beautiful.
Oh, how nice. I just remember when I was nursing my firstborn, and she had a tongue tie, and it was worse than labor trying to nurse her on and on and on. The pain was so bad, and I just remember like her icon across from me and just be like, help me. I was just like, I couldn't pray anything else, just like, help me. And feeling like she was the one to just be there and get me through it, you know, because you know, and in time things got better. But it took a while. But
well, yeah, I love that. I remember for me, I would have lots of sleepless nights and be like, please let him sleep or whatever, and it wouldn't always happen. But when it really mattered, my son was having surgery on his brain, a craniotomy, and I remember having this overwhelming feeling that she was standing by his head, at the head of him on the operating table. It was her, she was at the head of it, saying like, we've got this, you know. And maybe I'll get more into that vision, like feeling, but there's other saints around too, and I felt like my dad was there, but she was the one that was at the head of it, like as a mother, being like, I'm with him because you can't be with him at this point, you know. And just like feeling that ultimate comfort from her, you know, this motherly comfort that she was with my child when I couldn't be in his most vulnerable state, you know.
I think God gave us the gift of his mother so that, especially we as women, we have someone in the church that's always there, always a part of the church, for us to have like that maternal care and a woman we can connect to. And you know,
We all need a mom.
I know, and if she wasn't there, like it would be even harder for us to feel fully at home. I think it was part of his consideration for the church to be like she's going to be a pillar there for all of you.
So along those lines of those things you're all talking about, like specifically her support for us, I wanted to share a little bit of the hymns we sing during the Paraclesis service, which is a service that's sung to her. And so there's odes throughout the service, and every ode always starts like to God, acknowledging God. And so everything, just to reiterate, like it's always framed with Christ at the center. But I'll just read the first couple parts of the ode that when we're praying to her. So with many temptations surrounding me, searching for salvation, I have hastened to you. O Mother of the Word and ever Virgin, from all distresses and dangers deliver me. And then we sing Most Holy Theotokos, save us, which, as Emily said, doesn't mean she is our savior. It means that we're asking for her prayer and her help. And then assaults of the passions have shaken me. My soul to its limits has been filled with much despair. Bring peace, O maiden, in the calmness of your own Son and your God, all blameless one. And I have been at this service before. There was one time in particular that I was just like not doing well. I didn't want to go. I didn't want the kids, you know, I didn't want to do all the work of getting the kids all ready. And I'm just like, I don't know. I had the sense that I should go, even though I did not want to. And it just, the service itself, like hearing the prayers, and it just brought this peace. And I'd prayed for peace earlier in the day when I'd been having this like deep struggle. Like I was praying for peace. I was praying for peace. And it just like, I didn't get it immediately, but I knew I should go to church, even though I was not at peace and I didn't want to go.
Yeah, I've been there.
But it's just that, like, she does like hasten unto us to help us. And we truly believe
So you walked
that.
away from that service
With peace.
Yeah.
Did I not say that?
I don't know.
Sorry. No, I went, and that was when the peace actually came. And
I love that, because this is the thing that we're very aware within our church. Men and women are different, right?
what?
Jesus is our father figure. He's Jesus also. He's this man in our lives. But like sometimes it's hard to relate to like just masculine input, just a father, just a dad. And so to have this kind of feminine side of it is so nice. Like we talked about St. Mary of Egypt, it was an icon of the Holy Theotokos that she saw that stopped her in her tracks. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like God allows Mary to be the one to like come to people because they might not react the same way. Like he uses each situation. There's the milk grotto in Bethlehem that we went to, which is it's now a church, but it's in this giant cave. And they say it's where they hid Joseph, Jesus, and Mary hid from, when he was a toddler, basically, from being Herod, from Herod's men. And they hid there, and she nursed him, and they say some milk like fell onto the floor, and now the whole cave is blessed, and you can go and eat like bits of the cave, and there's all these pictures of these people who either their children were cured of things or they had children after being there or eating parts of the cave, because it's like now it's this miraculous spot.
What do you mean eating part of the cave?
The cave, you can actually take chunks of it. It's like sulfury, like sand. You can actually just scrape it into your mouth.
Sandy.
You literally eat it. Oh. And I actually have little baggies of this stuff. But yeah, you literally can eat the cave. It's like hollowed out from people eating it. It's so, right? It sounds so strange, but they have outside there's this room outside of it, and there's just these pictures of all these miracles that have happened from it. And there is this icon. And there's this icon there of Holy Theotokos, and I just got lost in it for like 20 minutes. Gary said I was like in a daze, and I just felt like I could feel her true presence, like that she was alive even then, And it's just so neat that she was this actual mother nursing her baby, hiding him, and all these very real things. I take great comfort in her, being like, she's the mother of our church, everyone. She's like, I want to be your mother too, and I want to care for you. And I'm so glad we have her. Me too. Yeah.
And just because I don't know if we made the connection earlier, we talked about the Theotokos being like this feminine presence in the church, and that is why in some traditions, like we have had a tea in her honor for the Annunciation, which is kind of like one of her major feasts.
And March is typically Women's Month.
Yeah, and I know some people have also done a tea at Dormition too, another of the Theotokos' feasts. So anyways, that's why we do like a nice feminine, beautiful thing to honor her.
During Lent, every Friday at our church, and in many Orthodox churches, there's the Akathist to the Mother of God. And it's tradition, at least our priest told us this, it's tradition to bring her flowers. So there's a lot of flowers around her icon right now. And
I like that.
Yeah, and it's just these like feminine things, but also like she was tough and she was strong, like a strong woman, and not in the way you might think, but she helps us. She went through a lot, and she remained faithful to the very end, and now she's with God in heaven, so which is neat. There's a lot of akathists to her for different. There's different prayer services and akathists to her about different things. There's like one to the Mother of God, like helper of cancer and nurture of children that we all
that's
like.
the one. Yeah, the nurture of children. My husband and I have, for like years, we do like an ode together in the evening.
It's so good. Yeah.
You can do the whole thing too. The whole thing takes like about half an hour, but we oftentimes will do like one of the 13 odes.
Yeah. And we've talked about Akavist before, but it's just like this very, as Christine put it, poetic prayer. And it's, if you want to get to know her, we would suggest that. So. All right, so Holy Theotokos, save us. Thank you for listening. This week we're going to be doing appreciations. I kept wanting to say enunciations. Sorry. This week we are ending with appreciations. Katie, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I appreciate my mom. Aww. She's watching 2 of my 4 children right now, so we could record, and she's just awesome.
Thanks, Aunt Sue. Thanks, Aunt Sue.
Emily?
I'm thankful for my mom, and because we're talking about mothers, it just reminds me of a mother's love. I'm thankful for all mothers. I just love the connection mothers have. We have with Theotokos, we have with each other. It's a special role. And I'm thankful for our mom. She's watching 5 of her grandchildren, all 5 of them. So
my
thank you,
husband's
Mom. Oh, yeah, he is here today, so that's nice. But she's just always someone I go to no matter what. And she's always, whether it's hard or not, she's always has a listening ear and is ready to pray. So
just like the Theotokos.
Exactly.
I appreciate the mothers gone before us. My mother-in-law, Bonnie, whose lovely tablecloth and other accoutrements are from, and Mama Bacon, our grandmother, who just passed away last year. I miss them and I love them, and I love having reminders of them that are still with us.
And we have to shout out to Grandy, who we had on the Thanksgiving episode. We love you, Grandy. She's another wonderful mom, full of prayer. I'm also thankful. What's neat is we have each other's moms as godparents. So we're thankful for all the godmothers out there, too. Aunt Sue and Aunt Kim, as you call her. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for this tea party. This has been lovely.
Lovely.
Join the book club if you haven't already. We will link the link down below.
Yeah, this might be the
up.
last week of reading the
Screwtape Letters. How's it going, ladies?
It's going good.
Good. About to begin. All right. Thank you. This has been Mugs and Mercy. Cheers.
Teacups and Mercy.
All right, Katie, take it away. Cheerio.
Okay. I printed out a few notes that we prepared. So sorry, there was a split second in my brain that was like, don't acknowledge it. I'm so glad you guys left it. Is that okay? I think it's related to what we're... So I also prepared some notes because